When two musical legends come together, the result is often something extraordinary, and that's exactly what happened when Bill Gaither and David Phelps shared the stage. Bill Gaither, the man behind the world-famous Gaither Vocal Band, has worked with many talented singers throughout his lifetime. But when he talks about David Phelps, his voice changes. There's admiration, gratitude, and a sense of awe that words can barely describe. During one heartfelt moment, Bill looked at David and said, "You put the Gaither Vocal Band on top." It wasn't just a compliment, it was the truth. David Phelps didn't just join the group, he transformed it. When he stepped onto that stage, something magical happened. The music took on new life, new energy, and a level of excellence that fans immediately felt. Songs like "Let Freedom Ring," "Oh, What a Time," and "Satisfied" became more than just songs, they became emotional experiences that touched people deeply. David's voice had something special, something that seemed to reach beyond human ability. It was the kind of voice that could soar to the heavens and touch the heart all at once. His range, his control, and his emotion created moments that audiences would never forget. Bill Gaither has always been a man who recognizes true musical talent, and when David joined the Gaither Vocal Band, Bill knew immediately that he had found someone extraordinary. He once shared that David brought not only a powerful voice but also deep musical knowledge that changed how the group approached music altogether. In one memorable conversation, Bill admitted he hadn't realized just how skilled David was in music arrangement and theory. During their early days, David would sometimes experiment with harmonies or vocal parts in the car, and Bill, with his wealth of experience, would offer gentle guidance. David, who had a classical background from his time at Baylor University, started to merge that formal training with the soulful gospel style that Bill and the group were known for. What emerged was a beautiful fusion, a blend of technical excellence and heartfelt worship. Bill helped David understand the number system, a practical method used by musicians to read and arrange songs more flexibly, and David quickly mastered it. Their discussions about chords, harmonies, and even the concept of not moving off the one became turning points in David's musical journey. This partnership was not just about making great music, it was about growing together as artists and believers. Through their collaboration, both men gained a deeper understanding of how music could glorify God while also reaching the hearts of people everywhere. As David Phelps settled into his role within the Gaither Vocal Band, something remarkable happened. The group's sound began to evolve into something richer and more complex than ever before. Bill Gaither had always been a fan of harmony-driven performances, inspired by groups from the 1950s like the Norman Luboff Choir and Fred Waring's chorale. But with David's arrival, the band began experimenting with a cappella arrangements that took their performances to new heights. Their first a cappella piece, "The Star-Spangled Banner," arranged by Russell Baldwin, set the tone for what was to come. The beauty of pure voices blending without instruments created a breathtaking experience for audiences. David was fascinated by these vocal challenges and soon began arranging pieces himself. His first arrangement, "A Love That Won't Let Me Go," showcased his ability to weave harmonies that felt both heavenly and intimate. David's arrangements were not just technical achievements, they were emotional expressions of his faith. He once said that he loved exploring how different harmonies could surprise listeners and paint musical pictures using only voices. His passion for creating depth and color in vocal music gave the Gaither Vocal Band a renewed sense of creativity and spiritual power. The group's performances became not only concerts but also worship experiences that connected people to God through sound, emotion, and artistry. There are singers, and then there are voices that seem to belong to another world, and David Phelps's voice falls into the second category. Bill Gaither has described David's voice as an instrument of worship itself, and that statement perfectly captures what makes him unique. His voice isn't just powerful, it's emotional, pure, and full of purpose. When David sings, it feels like every word carries spiritual weight. Each note rises like a prayer, and each phrase feels alive with meaning. Bill once said that some songs could never be sung the same way again after David performed them, because he set a new standard that others could only hope to reach. When he sings "Let Freedom Ring," it becomes more than a patriotic song, it becomes an anthem of faith and hope. When he performs "Oh, What a Time," it's as if heaven itself joins in harmony. And when he sings satisfied, peace seems to flow through the audience. But beyond his voice, what truly sets David apart is his heart. Bill Gaither often says that David doesn't just perform, he ministers. His passion, his faith, and his commitment to giving glory to God through his music make every performance a spiritual moment. He reminds us that music is not just entertainment but also a divine gift meant to uplift souls and draw people closer to God. One of the most emotional moments in their journey together came when Bill Gaither told David, "We haven't sung Let Freedom Ring since you left, it's your song." Those words carried deep meaning. That song had become so closely tied to David's voice that it felt impossible for anyone else to perform it with the same passion and conviction. For David, singing Let Freedom Ring has always been a deeply personal and emotional experience. He once shared that after performing it, he often found himself trembling, overcome with emotion. The song reminded him of both the freedom we enjoy as a nation and the ultimate freedom that Jesus gave on the cross. Each time he sang it, memories and emotions would flood his heart. The lyrics, crafted with such care by Bill and Gloria Gaither, carried messages of sacrifice, redemption, and faith. David said that those words were not just lyrics, they were truths he lived by. The musical arrangement, which builds and soars, perfectly matched David's incredible range and emotional depth. Bill Gaither later admitted that hearing David perform that song made him thankful for gifted singers like Sandy Patty, Steve Green, Larnell Harris, and especially David Phelps, who could bring the Gaither compositions to life in ways he and Gloria could only imagine when they first wrote them. For Bill, David wasn't just a singer, he was a gift from God who gave their songs wings to fly. The bond between Bill Gaither and David Phelps goes far beyond music. It's a friendship built on mutual respect, shared faith, and a deep love for the craft of gospel music. Bill has often said that working with David challenged him and the entire group to grow musically and spiritually. David's knowledge of harmony and his passion for excellence inspired everyone around him. His creativity pushed the Gaither Vocal Band into new territory, blending traditional gospel roots with a more refined, modern sound that appealed to audiences across generations. And yet, despite all his musical genius, David has always remained humble. He often gives credit to those who mentored him and to the grace of God that allows him to use his talent for a higher purpose. Fans who attend Gaither concerts can see the respect and affection between Bill and David. There's an unspoken understanding, or recognition that together, they created something timeless. Their collaboration reminds us that music becomes truly powerful when it's born from both talent and a sincere heart for God. David's influence continues to shape the Gaither legacy, proving that when faith and music come together, the result can touch countless lives and echo through generations. In recent years, fans were overjoyed to see David Phelps return to the stage at the Gaither Homecoming 2025 event. When he walked onto that familiar stage once more, the audience erupted with emotion. It felt like time had stood still. His presence, the same confident smile, stylish hair, and humble spirit, brought back a flood of memories from the golden years of the Gaither Vocal Band. Watching Bill Gaither and David share the spotlight again was like witnessing two old friends relive their best moments. Their eyes said everything: gratitude, pride, and a deep sense of shared purpose. For fans, David's return was more than a reunion, it was a revival of everything they loved about gospel music. Bill's words still ring true: "David, you put the Gaither Vocal Band on top." That statement isn't about fame or charts, it's about how one man's voice, full of faith and fire, lifted an entire group to new spiritual heights. Today, David Phelps stands as one of the most respected and beloved voices in gospel music. His performances remind us that talent is a gift from God, meant to inspire and uplift others. As his voice soars beyond notes and melodies, it continues to remind everyone who listens that music, when offered with a pure heart, becomes something eternal. David's legacy is not just about the songs he's sung, it's about the lives he's touched, the hope he's shared, and the faith he's strengthened through every note. Bill Gaither and David Phelps's story is one of faith, friendship, and the power of music to change lives. Their partnership shows that when talent meets purpose, and when music is offered to glorify God, it becomes more than sound, it becomes a message that touches the soul. David Phelps truly is the voice that lifted the Gaither Vocal Band. His gift continues to remind the world that the most powerful songs are the ones that come from the heart. To truly understand the impact of David Phelps, one must first understand the story of the Gaither Vocal Band itself, the group that became a cornerstone of gospel music around the world. Founded by Bill Gaither in the early 1980s, the group was never meant to be just another quartet. It was Bill's dream to create a vocal ensemble that could blend modern harmonies with timeless gospel truth. Before the vocal band was formed, Bill and his wife Gloria Gaither had already written hundreds of worship songs that were being sung in churches everywhere, songs like "Because He Lives," "He Touched Me," and "There's Something About That Name." But Bill felt there was still something missing, a group that could bring those songs to life on stage with the same spirit of excellence and passion they had been written with. That dream gave birth to the Gaither Vocal Band, a name that would soon become synonymous with gospel harmony at its finest. From the very beginning, the Gaither Vocal Band stood apart. Unlike most traditional gospel quartets of their time, they weren't afraid to experiment. Bill wanted a sound that was both fresh and familiar, something that spoke to the heart but also challenged the ear. Their early lineups included talented singers such as Gary McSpadden, Steve Green, and Michael English, each bringing their own unique vocal color to the blend. What made the group so special was not only their individual talent but how seamlessly their voices worked together. Every note was chosen with care, every harmony built like a cathedral of sound. Over the years, the vocal band's sound evolved, blending Southern gospel, inspirational, and contemporary Christian styles into a powerful and distinctive sound that crossed boundaries. As time went on, the Gaither Vocal Band became known not just for their music but for the message behind it. Their concerts were more than performances, they were celebrations of faith, full of laughter, joy, and heartfelt worship. Bill Gaither's natural warmth and humor made every show feel like a family gathering. He would share stories, laugh with the audience, and remind everyone that the purpose of their music was to bring people closer to God. Many who attended their concerts said they didn't just hear great songs, they experienced something deeply spiritual. Through every harmony and every lyric, the band reminded listeners of hope, grace, and the power of God's love. The group's legacy grew as they welcomed new members over the years, each leaving a lasting mark. Singers like Mark Lowry, known for his humor and his heartfelt delivery, brought a joyful balance to the group's performances. Guy Penrod, with his rugged country gospel sound, added strength and emotion that reached both young and old audiences. Then came David Phelps, whose arrival in the late 1990s marked the beginning of a golden era for the Gaither Vocal Band. His classically trained voice introduced a new level of sophistication and depth to their music. Suddenly, songs that were already powerful became breathtaking. David's vocal range and emotional expression pushed the band to explore bolder arrangements and more intricate harmonies. Bill often said that when David joined, the group's sound reached another level of heaven. The Gaither Homecoming series, which began as a small gathering of gospel singers, soon turned into one of the most beloved concert series in Christian music history. These events brought together generations of gospel legends, from the Cathedrals to the Oak Ridge Boys, from Sandy Patty to Larnell Harris, and at the heart of it all was the Gaither Vocal Band. The homecoming concerts became a symbol of unity and gratitude, showcasing not only incredible talent but also the unbreakable bond among artists who shared one mission: to glorify God through song. For many fans, seeing Bill Gaither on stage surrounded by such voices felt like witnessing the history of gospel music come alive. Even as the lineup changed over the years, the message never did. Bill always made sure the focus stayed on faith and family. Every singer who joined the group understood that the Gaither Vocal Band was not just about perfect harmony, it was about the harmony of hearts. They weren't performing to impress, they were ministering to inspire. That's why the band's music continues to reach people far beyond the church walls. Whether it's Alpha and Omega, He is Here, or The Love of God, every song carries a message of hope that transcends denominations and generations. Today, the Gaither Vocal Band stands as a living legacy of what gospel music can be: timeless, inspiring, and full of life. Under Bill Gaither's direction, it remains a bridge between the traditional and the modern, the past and the present. Their songs continue to play in homes, churches, and radio stations across the world, touching hearts with the same sincerity that began decades ago. And even though members come and go, the heart of the group stays the same, a heart rooted in love, faith, and the joy of sharing the good news through song. David Phelps's return to the stage in 2025 reminded everyone of that enduring spirit. When he stood beside Bill once again, it wasn't just nostalgia, it was a beautiful continuation of a story that began more than 40 years ago. The Gaither Vocal Band remains more than a musical group, it is a family of faith, built on a foundation of trust, respect, and divine purpose. Bill Gaither's dream of using harmony to spread the message of God's love has truly come to life. Through every song, every harmony, and every heartfelt performance, the Gaither Vocal Band continues to lift souls, proving that gospel music, when sung with love, never fades away.